It has nothing to do funny fighting bladder cancer going through chemo and still this sexy quote. Shirt good or bad of a person he was. And it's intellectually dishonest to pretend like we can't discuss anything about him and his policies other than how terrible of a person he was. Despite the reality that many do see him as a hero. That is what propaganda is actively shutting down any discussion that doesn't concur with your culture's collective consciousness about the person. Your brand that discussion as Cold War propaganda only because you've been told by your own government's propaganda that any discussion that isn't condemning Castro is akin to communist sympathizing. Meanwhile, people are just pointing out how he was able to increase literacy. Funny fighting bladder cancer going through chemo and still this sexy quote shirt, tank top, V-neck, sweatshirt, and hoodie. V-neck, tank top, sweatshirt, hoodie. From third world levels funny fighting bladder cancer going through chemo and still this sexy quote. Shirts generation and provide healthcare to all their people. But really, we can't talk about that because of the Cold War? You do know the Cold War is over, right? I can't wait until the next generation takes over. Who haven't been near as brainwashed into thinking the US is by definition morally good. And all US enemies are by definition morally wrong. How is the Cold War era Cuba more oppressive than present-day Saudi Arabia? If it isn't, why are the crimes of US allies tolerated? Whereas Cuba needed liberation? Because the communists kicked out and put capitalists on trial? Other product.